up, everybody? My name is Julian. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make mall grab and heartstring style trance, this type of stuff that's getting really popular right now. It's a bit nostalgic, it's also a bit of the future, and I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know to make it in this video. So go along in this video, you get the full template, project files, samples, MIDI, presets, everything that you're about to see me break down is available at the top of the description on my website, so definitely go grab that so you can make the best track of your life today. I promise it'll really help you out. Thanks so much for the support, guys, and let's get started. Alright, so we're at 150 BPM, and the first thing we got here is the kick and bass. So kick is just this one that I made from my Ultimate Hard Techno drum library. I just made it a little bit shorter. I like to kind of put these things together though. You know, it really is one thing. Like the when you have that kind of groove. Right, so there's the kick is the first part of it, and then the bass. And I try to really work on them together too. Like, you don't want to just solo the kick or just solo the bass. Solo them together and work on them like it's one thing, right? But as far as just hearing the bass on its own. So we're in D minor here. We're going root note, 3rd, 7th, 6th, right? To kind of resolve it on that last major chord there. Ironically, it's a very minor sounding progression, right? Because it does start on a minor chord. But actually, the first chord is the only minor chord in there. Even though, like this, all feels kind of dark and then it resolves. It's really just like that one minor chord. So kind of interesting there how that sets the tone. We're using drift for the sound. We're using a saw wave and then a sine wave an octave down. Except you can't actually hear that, so it's just the saw wave. We've got that on retrigger mode. Low pass filter, a little bit of an envelope on it, so it's nice and punchy. And then just a little bit of drift, cutting out the sub, right? You really want the kick to kind of be the low. Like, the real low is going to come from the kick, and then the bass is just going to sit right on top of that. It might sound like a crazy thing, but I've broken down a lot of these tracks. I've done a lot of car tests. I've listened to this stuff in clubs, in cars, on monitors, on headphones, on AirPods, and, like, I'm telling you, like, you kind of want to have that bass sit a little bit on top of the kick. So then we got our drums, which is really, I guess it's a pretty good amount of layers, but they're all only doing a little bit. So we're starting, you know, nice fat 909 clap. Open hi-hat. I've made the hi-hat shorter too. This is very important because you want, just like how we made the bass short and the kick short, you know, really tight hi-hat. If I make that longer, see, all of a sudden it's not fitting together as much. So you can use the amplitude envelope to do that. It's a very easy way to get that effect and keep it really clean. You know, it's not compressing, it's not anything like that. You're just literally trimming the audio using that. We've got this. So it's just like an 808 kit. You can hear it adds some nice percussion. And again, we're using some of those older, kind of like more lo-fi, nostalgic sounds. Again, going back to like the mall grab influence, you know. Why not just use like an 808 that just sounds like an old one? Alright, we got this little drum synth. I'm just using the snare, which I tweaked a little bit. There's also this one. Using that glass sound, which I kind of like, I tuned it so it would fit with the actual track. Right, like, so you want, if you're going to use a little percussion like that, cool, but definitely make sure it's in tune, because, like, when you take that out of key, you can see. You know, it doesn't fit as well. You really need to make sure that it's going to be in key if you're going to have that. We got this little bongo loop. You know, a little bit of like almost like a hard groove techno sort of thing. But I'm noticing that too. Like, I'm gonna probably make another video about this. Like, at this point, you know, mall grab is even doing like literally like trance hard groove kind of like. And these loops do add a lot of just movement and energy. You know, like I always say, like, the groove is in the low end, but the energy is in the high end. So something like this can really make this track dance. And yeah, I definitely recommend be a bit more fearless. Like, why not combine like a little bit of that hard groove influence into the trance? You see, I got that sidechain because sometimes when you have stuff like this, where you can hear a little bit of a click in there on the kicks, it can actually get like over top of the main kick. And see, it's not so pleasant, but then if you sidechain it, there you go. Last drum is we got this 707. I'm just using the cowbell. Right, this is kind of like going back to that Heartstring influence. They use that a lot. And yeah, that's what the sound is. If you didn't know, it's just a cowbell from a 707, famous sound. Then we have this drift lead. So, this might look complicated. It's only a few notes, though, because we're in the key of D minor. This is what people need to keep in mind, too. Like, you know, in any scale, there's only, like, 7 or 8 notes. Like, there's only 12 notes total. Like, the whole piano, it's just 12 notes over and over, right? So that already is, like, not that many. But then if you're in a scale, it's only 7 or 8 of those notes that you could even use and still be in key. So, something like this that might seem complicated really isn't that hard to do, and you can honestly plug in pretty quickly. Like when I write these, I basically tell myself, okay, I kind of, like in this case, kind of want to tell the story with the notes in this scale, right? And maybe limit it a bit, even, not even the full 7 or 8 notes in the scale that you have to use, right? But like, then you just use where you are in the scale to kind of do that. Like, okay, so I want to start big. Okay, so we're going to go root, 5th, 7th. So that's like already like, you know, and then okay, we need to walk down a little bit. So you see how like something that seems complicated like this can be very easy if you follow those sort of rules. Right? And then here it's even like, oh, we're just using the same 2 notes and kind of resolving it too. So like a lot of times it's reusing stuff. Even here, those are the same as over there, you know, it's just changing the root note. For the actual sound on this one, we're using drift. So I really like drift lately. I think it can be really good for creating stuff that's a bit different. And I'll show you like, so here we got the saw wave. It's just the saw wave on its own. Low pass filter, set like that, a little bit of the high pass as well. And then if you look in the mod, we've got our envelope on the low pass frequency, so that's kind of making it punch. But then on the oscillator shape, you can move that. And if I get rid of that, see, it does something very cool. It kind of sounds like a sync, but then it's not quite the same. But you can put this envelope on it, and you can create like a really cool sort of lead. Like it's a really great way. This synth is a great way to take saw waves and square waves and sine waves, even the same things we've been hearing over and over and over, and just tweak them a little bit using this modulation. So yeah, just trying to do that, kind of create something a bit different. Chorus, delay, reverb, you know, get it nice and epic and trancey, and then just the side chain, and then the last is this pad. Now, this is one of those pads where it's not following everything the chord progression is doing, but it just sits really well because it's in key with that. What we're doing here, though, is you can see we are starting on that D minor chord. But see, all we're doing to move up is we're just keeping the root, and then we're going, instead of the 3rd and the 5th, we're going 4th and 6th. And you can see there's a nice call and response with that. And then here it's just that F and then the 6th and then a root note an octave up. So it's kind of simple, but it's just creating like some nice musical background. Now for the sound here, it's made with Wavetable. I really like Wavetable for the pads because you have all these different options. You're not just, like I was saying with the lead, you're not just stuck with the same saw waves and square waves over and over and over again. So we got this. I got 2 filters on it. You can see we have a lot of modulation here, honestly. There's like this envelope on a lot of different things, as well as this LFO. I got the unison on shimmer, and then we're just side chaining that. And there it is. So there we go. Like I said in the beginning, you know, it's a bit nostalgic. It's also a bit futuristic and everything in between. I hope you guys learned something today. That's going to be it for this one. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, everything from this video is available at the top of the description. Just click the link, go to my website, grab it. Promise it'll be the best choice of your life when it comes to producing this type of trance. Thanks so much for the support, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.